One of the biggest takeaways that I ever had in life, and by the way, listen to this, especially if you're trying to make more money and raise your income. Scientists have studied the biggest factor, what makes people successful, not just with money, but in life in general. And there's a few things. This is part of kind of my 67 steps if you've never been in that program. But one of the things is awareness. And I'm not going to talk about that now. I've recorded on this what I learned about awareness. I'm flying home now from the farm here by Joel Salatin, my first mentor. I'm flying to LAX, so we're driving to Washington DC to catch a flight. But what I wanted to say is, number two, interchangeably as important as awareness, is something called conscientiousness, and they kind of blur together. So in some ways, awareness is a subset of conscientiousness. So what I want to talk about for 1 second is, if you want to make more money, you raise your conscientiousness. Not just work harder, not just get a better college degree, not just get a better diploma, a piece of paper. Forget all that. I'm going to the core crux of the matter, the heart of the matter, the root of it. And some people are conscientious and some people aren't. And I've never met someone successful that's not highly conscientious, that doesn't have superpower of conscientiousness. So I got to explain this, because this is something they never teach in school. No parents really teach their kids anymore. They used to teach this 100 years ago, but it's zero. You learn algebra and dumb stuff that you'll never use in your entire life. Now, maybe you'll learn algebra. 1% of the population becomes engineers. The rest stop teaching calculus in high school. Have you seen kids nowadays? You think can think through life's problems? No. But here's what conscientiousness is. It's 4 things, and I'm going to add a 5th one. Scientists give it 4. I'm adding one. Prudence, which means the ability to make wise decisions. Prudence. We all have that one friend that's an idiot. If they could have a choice between 2 options, they have a choice between dating an awesome person and an idiot. Oh, I gotta date the idiot. That's low prudence. There's a choice between 2 career paths. They pick the stupid one. They have low prudence. So that's the first thing. The second thing is what they call industriousness or diligence. That's working hard when you need to and not being lazy. It's easy to understand. The third one is organization. Organization is not just writing out a to-do list, it's putting it in order. I know a lot of people that write to-do lists and they're all randomly in order. The most important thing is last. And so can you organize your day? Can you organize your thoughts? I think that's what the school system thinks math teaches kids. I was super good at math, by the way. It didn't teach me anything about being organized brain, really. Maybe a teeny bit. You get a 10% boost from but forget math. Get common sense and you'll be good. You can pay somebody else to do the math for you. You can pay an accountant. You think I do my own taxes? No. You think I build my own bridges? No. You hire engineers. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing, and this is a big one, is called perfectionism. That means, do you double and triple check your work? This world is full of people that just go, you give them an assignment, they do it, and then you're like, do you think it's done right? And they're like, yeah, probably. No, probably. Check the damn thing. If you're kind of stupid and no common sense, check it 30 times, because you don't have good common sense. You better double check more, triple check. When you get on an airplane, you know why there's basically no airplane crashes in the world as a ratio of how many flights there are? There's millions of flights and like 0 crashes. Simple. There's a system called Six Sigma that was developed. Big companies used to use it. Engineers used to use it. And Six Sigma says you only make 3 mistakes per million actions. And so how do you do that? That seems outrageous. How can out of every million flights there only be 3 problems with engines? Not even crashes, just problems. Easy. They create double, triple, quadruple checklists. When you get on an airplane, there's an airplane co-pilot reading off the list, double checking. They don't just take off. They go, all right, check the ailerons, check the landing gear, check the electric, check everything, and then double check it. Then people can't figure out why they go broke all the time. I can't. You're not a perfectionist. And also, though, just to be clear, prudence, which we talked about earlier, which is making wise decisions. There's a time when you shouldn't be a perfectionist. In fact, most people I know with low prudence, they're perfectionists about idiotic things. They'll have their nails done perfectly. Perfect. They'll have their eyebrows done perfect. Male or female, by the way. I'm not picking on one or another. They'll have their shoes shine perfect, but then their life is in shambles. I'm like, bro, why don't you just have your shoes a little dirtier, but an awesome life? And it's like, what do you mean? Oh, it's supposed to be a perfectionist, you said, Ty. No, perfectionist in important stuff. Like, be a perfectionist with making money. Double and triple check. I knew a guy at a nightclub, and he couldn't figure out why he never made money. I was like, bro, people stealing from you, your employees. Well, I'm like, do you double and triple check? Do you compare the little clicker from your bouncer, how many people walked in the club, to how much money you took home? And if you're charging, we used to charge cover charge. If you're charging $20 and 100 people came through the door, did you ever go, oh, I should have $2,000? No, he was just randomly like, well, it'll all work out. No, it doesn't. It doesn't all work out. People steal from you, and you end up making $1,400 because $600 goes out the door to somebody. So, perfectionism. And then this fifth one, now scientists don't have this fifth one, but I've talked to some scientists because I think the fifth one is awareness. So here's situational awareness. I'm going to give you an example. This is funny. Joel Salatin, my first mentor, I don't know if we had a little clip of him earlier. This is an amazing thing about Joel. This, I swear I should make this his own video. So, Joel is the most situationally aware person. He's not daydreaming. He's not, going, like he's not planning 33 years out from now. He's paying attention to what he's doing. Now, I've had this save my life before, especially working around heavy equipment. I've had people almost killed that I bring from the city to a farm because they're not situationally aware. We're putting up huge 8-foot, 300-pound posts, and they're like looking at their phone, and we have a little, like a winch holding it up, and the winch unsnaps and the pole comes, and I'm like, oh my God, pay attention. And here's a story, 2 stories. One, when I was 19, I was walking through a field with Joel Salatin, daydreaming, because I was from the city, and people in the city are told that daydreaming is such a wonderful thing. Yeah, once in a while, if you're Albert Einstein, it is. But even Albert Einstein paid attention to what he was doing in the moment. He came up with the theory of relativity equals MC squared while he was working at the post office 10 hours a day, sorting mail, paying attention. He wasn't, people have this thing like, oh, Stephen Hawking, Albert Einstein, they just lay there and just daydream and let their mind wander. Yeah, sometimes, but not all the time. So I'm walking through this field with Joel. I'm like, la, la. And I didn't notice there was a gate open and all the cattle were getting out. I'll never forget this. He turned to me. He kind of jolted me. He raised his voice like, oh. I was like, what? He's like, there's a time to stop and smell the roses, and it's not right now. Time to stop and smell the roses. And he was saying, this is a time to be aware of where we are. When you're at home and you're laying in bed or you're eating, then you can daydream. Or you're writing a book, But he's like, now pay attention now. And that one thing that I learned from him, I would say is responsible for more of all the money I've ever been able to generate with my businesses and in life. It's responsible for 60% of it. That one lesson right there. Pay attention. And Warren Buffett, second or third richest man in the world, he says, put all your eggs in one basket and watch the basket. Watch the basket. And the basket is your life. It's your business. It's your career. It's your friendships. Watch it. You know how many people are just like, oh, life will work out on its own? No. There's a universal law. You remember this from physics. You had law of thermodynamics, all this entropy. That means over time, if you have a house and you don't maintain it and you don't paint it and you don't fix the roof, if you come back in 20 years, it's worse, not better. There's never a house in history that's been standing there, someone abandoned it and came back 20 years and like, you ain't gonna believe this. There's a deck on here, new cabinets. No. New furniture. No. Entropy means that you have to inject energy, your own energy, to improve things. And so when you're not situationally aware, you're not conscientious, you're not organized, you're not diligent, you're not a perfectionist, you're not somebody who is prudent, you're not industrious, all these things, guess what? Your life gets worse and worse and worse and worse, and then you can't figure out why your happiness is declining, your income is static, you're stuck in the same dead end. I can tell you why. Joel Salatin told it to me at 19. You're not watching the basket, you're not paying attention. That's 99% of the world. Another way of saying this is what Sam Chupp, I went and lived with the Amish, who are also very situationally aware. They're connected to the land. They pay attention to what they're doing. And Sam Chupp told me, he said, Ty, there's 3 types of people in the world. One makes things happen. The second watches things happen. And the third wonders what happened. And he said that kind of with a twinkle in his eye and a little joke, and I realized that's the entire world, the third one. It's okay to not always make things happen. Sometimes you gotta watch other people teach you. But that third one should never happen to you. Never wonder what happened. Andrea, never get a ticket and be like, oh, where am I flying? Look at the damn thing. It has the letters right in there. Pay attention to detail. Then you figure it out.